Hey guys, it's Joe from Finding Faith, and welcome to part 2 of the video where I look at a sign, which I'm going to put up right now. Yeah, this is one of those signs that's basically an example of Christian extremism. I do think that there's truth in this sign in the first part where I talked to it up to levitation, but in the first video I talked up to that point. And I cut it up there because it was going on too long, even though I was having fun, and figured it made more sense to have it in a couple parts. Now, I do think, and I said this in the last video, that some of these are technically doorways to demonic possession, if you want to think of it that way. But some of these just aren't as bad as Christians make them to sound out to be. And I think that if you spend so much time demonizing this stuff, you're not spending as much time glorifying Christ. So my goal here is not to tear anyone down, it's to tear down this ideology of fear-mongering. And what better way to do that than with laughter? So let's keep going. Levitation. I don't know about you guys, I don't know anyone who can levitate. I don't know anyone who tries to levitate. Is this a thing? You know, maybe if you are trying to call on spirits to get you to move up in the air, that's a thing that can happen. Yeah, overall this is just one of those, I don't think this is as common as they're making it seem. Why are they giving it any attention? Why? Next we have alt comics with an X. This is another one of those, I don't really know what they're talking about. I'm gonna move on. Vampirism. Are you referring to people who are actually vampires? Because I don't know if you knew this, vampires are fictional. They're not even referenced in the Bible. I mean, in theory, this could be, I guess, referring to people who pretend to be vampires. Does that mean if you dress up as a vampire on Halloween, knowing full well that you're not a vampire, that you are partaking in vampirism? That sounds so weird to say. Or does this mean if you have the characteristics of a vampire, if you don't like garlic for whatever reason, or, you know, you aren't as visible in mirrors? I don't know where I was going with this part. But the point is, you know, come on, obviously people shouldn't be pretending to be vampires, but why would you go to the effort of putting this on a sign? This sign is already way too long anyway. People have long since lost interest, except for me, because I'm just kind of having a fun time laughing at this. Trilateralism. You know what? I'm just going to look this up on my phone. So, what I seem to be finding is it basically has to do with three-party relations or agreements, particularly worldwide. How does that lead to demonic possessions? You're literally trying to negotiate with someone from other countries. Are you people who make this sign, are they just against working with other countries? Have you forgotten that Acts 10:35 says, "But in every nation, anyone who fears him and does what is right is acceptable to him"? And I mean, sometimes, you know, third-party negotiations are necessary. This one is ridiculous. Marijuana, that is not how you spell marijuana. Marijuana and pot parties. I can't talk. I mean, you know, I have opinions on marijuana, and it's kind of an interesting topic within the Christian community, depending on who you talk to. But doorways to demonic possession is probably a little strong. You're just basically doing stuff to your body that is kind of controversial. Same thing with the next one, LSD/shrooms. I think when you call it shrooms, you kind of demean the problem, but that's just my opinion. Video games. Yeah, I know Christian gamers. They wouldn't be particularly happy that this is up there. You're causing division now within the Christian community, if you hadn't already before, with some of these like Lord of the Rings or vegetarianism. You know, with some of these, you know, it's just kind of unnecessarily causing fear or just, you know, wasting people's time. But with ones like this, you are literally causing division within the community that you claim to be a part of. And I'm just not for that. Harry Potter. Why am I not surprised that one is on this list? I'm gonna throw out right now, I have read all 7 books, I have seen all 8 of the movies, I am definitely a Harry Potter fan. And I have taken multiple online tests, at 6 to be exact, to find out which house I am. I had to take 6 because I got a 2-way tie at first between Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, and then I took another 2 and they were both Gryffindor. So I don't technically know which Hogwarts house I'm in because I've taken 6 tests and I've gotten, 3 in each of the houses that people technically want to end up in. The one I took that was on Pottermore said I'm a Hufflepuff, and that wouldn't really surprise me, but to be honest, Ravenclaw wouldn't really surprise me that much either. The Gryffindor ones were a little surprising, but I'm not going to say no. I mean, it's Gryffindor, come on. Yeah, but I think as long as you don't try and practice the stuff that's in Harry Potter, as long as you accept it as fiction, as long as you accept any work as fiction, that's mentioned in here and other areas that clearly go against the ideals of God, then I think you understand what's going on, you can enjoy entertainment. But just calling it all demonic at once is just really splitting. And I know plenty of Christians who like the Harry Potter series, so you know what? Alright, Dungeons and Dragons. Same deal. I mean, I don't personally play it. If there was a Star Wars version, I would be totally up for it, but I don't know. I did. Oh, I can show you. Funny story. I'll be right back. So over the summer while I was up in Sacramento, on the 4th of July no less, I found this Dungeons and Dragons dice. You can't see it real well. It's blue. It's really nice. I really like this, and I don't use it as much as I should because I don't really have occasion to. But I have it, and it's cool. Same thought on Dungeons and Dragons as with Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and pop culture in general. Just understand its place. Don't go too far with it, you guys. Fornication. Who calls it that anymore? This is one of those things where it's obvious that God has declared it as sin, and I want to do videos talking about this at some point. I think there's other videos that I want to do beforehand and get out there and help you guys understand me a little bit more before I do these videos. But I don't know if I go so far as to say it's the doorway to demonic possession. It's just sin. Call it what it is, leave it at that, and deal with it in a way that isn't, more about, calling people out. That's not about shaming people. Because that's what so much of this list is. It's just about shaming people. It's not about really bringing people to Christ. Nowhere is Christ mentioned in this. I get it, it's a list of things that lead to demonic possession, but nowhere does it say, this is how you get to Christ instead. Skull and bones. Does that mean if you have a skull and bones that you automatically are a doorway to demonic possession? Does that mean you can't wave the skull and bones flag? I don't know why you would unless you are trying to be a pirate from the early whenever pirates were a thing the way they were with the Skull and Bones flag. I just don't know what they're referring to there. Clarity would help, not just listing random things. Rock music. I like rock music, you guys. And this is going to shock you. There's Christian rock music. Not all Christian music is hymn. Hey, I'm back. The lighting changed, and hopefully the sound did a little bit too, but really what happened was I ran out of storage space on the camera and it needed to be charged, so I needed to wait a little bit. So I'm gonna keep going right where I left off. Yeah, like I said, rock music I'm sorry, it's not generally a doorway to demonic possession. Heavy metal, same thing. And I kind of like heavy metal sometimes too, actually, believe it or not. Burning Man. My dad and I were having this conversation the other day. I don't have any interest in Burning Man, but I'm not going to say that the people who are going there are necessarily opening themselves up to demonic possession. It's not something I'm interested in at all. Twilight films. I'm not a Twilight films fan. Not sure I would say that just watching the films opens you up to demonic possession. They're not good films and not good books in my mind. Wait, why are the films mentioned and not the books? Come on, the books are at least as bad as the movies, from what I know. I actually did read the first Twilight book just to what was it? It wasn't exactly a bet, it was just to kind of prove something. It was back in high school. Yeah, it was not a good book, and from what I could tell, the books just got worse. Alright, I don't want this to turn into a Twilight review, so I'm gonna just move on and say this one doesn't really deserve to be up here. Many of these don't, but this one is just... what? Raves and XTC. I don't know what XTC is, but raves is another thing. It's like Burning Man. I don't have any desire for it. I don't think it's necessarily a doorway to demonic possession. I just think you gotta be careful. Sometimes for your safety, raves can get kind of crazy. Goth culture. So I think if you really do have a genuine love for Christ, I think if you do genuinely want to follow God, goth culture isn't something that's going to appeal to you. But just saying it's a doorway to demonic possession is just going to make people who are part of goth culture, who are goths, however you want to put it, it's just going to make them want to run away from you, basically. It's not going to bring anyone to Christ. It's just going to dive them deeper into that lifestyle. Which, by the way, I do not believe leads to demonic possession. I just don't think it leads to God. And that's all I have to say about that. That's the end of this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate when you guys subscribe, like, comment, share the videos. Alright, thanks again so much for watching. Have a blessed day or blessed night.